Welcome to the first episode of The Plotline. I'm David.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Brent.
And we got a huge slate of movies. Huge slate is in 3 movies to be exact, right? 3 movies.
3, yeah.
That we're going to go over. But first, there's been some news that's popped up in the last couple days that we're super excited about. And it came in the form of trailers from Marvel. They dropped the new Ant-Man trailer, and the new Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas trailer actually dropped today. And they both look awesome. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I am very excited that they're making Jonathan Majors blue.
Yeah.
They could have made him not blue, but they're making him blue.
They're doing both.
They're doing both, but
Yes.
he's
And
blue.
he's got the lines on
Yeah,
his face.
the
too.
lines are sick. Blue lines, I'm here for it.
Also, CGI looked actually really good.
Yeah, it did.
And that's been
Except for the parts where it looked like Spy Kids 3.
Well, I mean,
It's a trailer. I'll give them mostly.
Spy Kids 3 is iconic.
Spy Kids 3 is good, and I
It's
know
great.
that I love that movie.
It's
so.
great,
And it's a trailer.
and I wish we were reviewing that movie today.
Yeah.
Now that we're thinking of it,
Well, now we have it in the
we
back
have it.
burner.
It's
Yeah,
in the back.
in the back
It's in
burner.
the trunk,
But yeah, for the graphics not being final, they look spectacular.
Yeah.
and that's been like Marvel's big dig recently with a lot of
Yeah.
fans. Is like,
A lot of people, I don't know if you look in the trailer when it shows Kang, he's like levitating and all those rings around him. If
Yeah.
you look, the inscription on the rings is the exact same type of inscriptions on Shang-Chi's 10 rings.
Oh,
So
And some people think he may be after those 10 rings.
I think
slash
he's-
the Bengals.
I think he's after his chair. I think I saw something where someone has stolen his chair, and that's why he's getting Scott's help to steal his chair.
So these could be artifacts like from somewhere else that we don't know of, because they kind of set up the quantum realm as like a whole universe with its own own cast of characters that we're going to probably learn about, and it probably has its own technology. So the 10 rings could come from there. His chair could come from there. He could be taking advantage of technology he found there.
I wonder if the Kang that we see at the end of Loki is the same Kang that we're gonna meet in Y.
It's certainly not, because
They killed him in Loki.
yeah, and it's
But at the end of Loki, at the very end,
Yeah.
he comes back to the
Oh,
TVA,
okay, I see what
and
you're
there's
talking
a
about.
giant statue of Kang that wasn't
oh
there
that
before.
That one, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
thought
saying.
you were meaning
No,
the
no,
last.
That'd be
episode.
interesting.
I meant, is that gonna be the same? Is it gonna be a threat throughout Loki and
I have no idea. It could be
Well,
any
Loki season
infinite...
2. When does that drop? Is that next
it's
summer?
filming? I think
I know it's
already-
filming. I don't know. I don't think we have a date yet. If it released around the same time as Ant-Man, I'd say so, but it might just be another variant of Kang. I mean, they have a lot of Kangs to play around with and get creative with, so I think
They have a
using different
theoretical infinite number.
they
of
do.
things.
So I would just play around and use it.
Going
to their
along with
advantage.
movie news in the same realm, did you guys see the news about the special presentation that's rumored for before the Fantastic Four comes out? There's
I
a
did.
rumored special presentation that's going to focus on the Silver Surfer. That's going to
I
tie
love the
in
Silver Surfer.
to. Do you think it's smart for them to immediately go that route? To
Yeah.
Yes.
immediately go.
Set him up.
Kevin Feige's already said that like Galactus is his main. I said his name wrong. I always do. Don't worry about it. The Feigmeister. I don't care what his name is, but he's always said his end game is Galactus. So I mean, Silver
Yeah.
Surfer was bound to come in eventually.
The last big bad for him is Galactus. That's kind of crazy. I hope we don't lose him after they get to Galactus.
I mean, it's a good endpoint. I mean, Galactus is like
Where do you go beyond Galactus?
exactly. That's like
I don't know. Like,
He's
That's-
gonna eat your planet.
I mean, they kind
He
of
does
also
chow
did
down.
the Timekeepers and everything already. I mean, they're kind of running out of like big bads.
they wasted who was in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Gore the God Butcher.
No, he was.
Well, they wasted him there.
They wasted him too.
I mean,
Yes, Christian Bale deserved more. Infinity, was it Infinity?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The girl.
Eternity.
Eternity. Yeah, they wasted that. That's like a huge cosmic thing that they just wasted.
Yeah,
That's a
they-
wishing
She can come
well.
back.
They yada yada.
Well,
did,
the
though.
little girl could.
The
come
little
back.
girl has like powers from that. It looks like.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, Galactus has to be your.
My prediction: Doctor Doom's gonna be set up in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
It'd be a good one.
honestly, I think that they could set up, Silver Surfer and it'd be like fine, because they don't have to. They can set him up, because his story is like a really
It's gotta
long.
be a mid-credit scene.
No, I mean like they're doing the special presentation. I think that's like, is that confirmed? Do we know?
It's not confirmed. It's just a rumor.
It's just a
but
Rumor. Okay.
I think that could be like a good play though. Set him up, make him like a character that could appear in the background and whatnot. And then just like don't really do a whole lot with him for a long time. I mean, you could do they could do like 2 Fantastic Four films.
I was gonna say, and
And
then
then
Fantastic
have-
Four 2 at the very end, he surfs in and is like, guys!
Yeah.
Fantastic Four 4 surfs up. I mean, it writes itself.
Get out.
It writes itself. But yeah, Kang looks awesome. That was like my one big takeaway because I think this is gonna be. I think he's gonna be more menacing than Thanos.
And I like Jonathan Majors. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I watched all of Lovecraft Country whenever he was announced to be Kang because I didn't know who he was. He was an unknown for me at the time, and he did really good in that show. If you haven't watched it, I recommend.
he's in Creed 3 that's coming out, and he is absolutely yoked. jacked.
Yeah.
His triceps are bigger than me.
He's
What's
beefy.
that plane movie that's coming out? You know the one.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. That's got him in it. It's like
It's based on a true
it's got-
story,
it's a war
Vietnam.
movie. It's a war movie.
It's
and
not
that one-
Vietnam. It's the Korean War.
It
I
is the
think.
Korean War.
Ooh.
Man, it's like Valor or something like that.
I mean, probably.
Good for him for getting all the
Yes.
jobs.
I'm oddly excited. Devotion, I think.
We were
Devotion.
we weren't close at all, but we'll say we were.
I had a V.
You're right, and that's all that counts.
That's something.
That's something. For the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, though,
They can
Kevin
never,
Bacon is officially MCU canon.
He's
They
out-
can never
he's
use them.
out of the MCU.
He'll
He'll never play a character in the MCU.
He had
but himself.
his X-Men run, and that's it.
Yeah, that he kind of. I just had like a.
I saw the thought leave.
Believe your eyes.
It left the lights on and everything, and it just
We're
left.
gonna cut that.
Dave Bautista looks funny in that trailer. He looks like he's wearing way too baggy clothes or something.
I think Dave Bautista's having fun with it because he's in his last little like wind down with Marvel.
Yeah, he's made it very clear that he doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, so I think he's just having fun with it, which
I'm
good for him.
I'm excited to see him in Glass Onion. He's in like everything these days.
He-
There's Glass Onion. What's the one from M Night? The Knock on the Door or whatever.
Oh yeah, the new
Yeah.
M Night Shyamalan film. He was in.
Is that what it's called?
He's
Knock on the
become
Door?
a
Knock
very
on the
good
Door,
actor.
Yeah.
Which is no one thought he would like. Once he got cast as Drax, that really changed everything for him. But yeah, Christmas special. That's gonna be. I don't know how I feel about it as a concept.
I mean,
It's gonna be fun. I mean, this has no consequence at all.
out of
Besides Kevin Bacon probably getting
It
kidnapped.
kind of looks like it might have had a little consequence. They mentioned he was sad because Gamora's
Yeah.
not there.
I mean,
So,
unless
like,
their Christmas present is bringing back Gamora, which they should.
it could lead into Guardians 3.
Probably
Like,
gonna be
it
a
should,
bridge.
Like,
it's going to, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It'd be waste not to.
yeah. Like, what's the point of it if it's not building towards Guardians 3 in some way?
Yeah.
You think they're gonna keep Kevin Bacon? You think Kevin Bacon?
oh my god,
the
he
man.
Could be a new Guardian. He
Yeah,
comes along for the
be-
trip.
he becomes
my
the
gosh.
next Guardian of the Galaxy.
I'd be down for that.
I would love just yes
Actor Kevin Bacon as a
Pla-
Guardian of the Galaxy.
playing Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, playing
just
himself.
he's in the Quinjet, just taking it all in.
Cosmo, the dog.
Cosmo's in it, yes.
I actually completely missed that when watching the trailer.
Wow.
I didn't even
It says
notice.
big bullet of Cosmo.
Yeah,
and
you
shows
couldn't.
the
It was a dog too. Like it's pretty
I
cut
think
and
I
dry.
looked away or something. I don't know. I somehow completely missed that.
That was the most important part of the
It
trailer
was.
for me. I shouted. I was like, oh my god, it's Cosmo.
He was very excited on it.
Brent, you were telling me that's not the only thing James Gunn related this week.
Oh, so it was just announced today that Warner Brothers Discovery has appointed James Gunn and Peter Safran as co-CEOs of DC Studios.
That's huge.
It is. It's huge for him in particular. It's a big day for him at the time of recording.
If you think of James Gunn, during quarantine, he was fired from Marvel.
Yeah, that probably left a bad taste in his mouth.
Yes, and he went to DC, made the better Suicide Squad, went back to Marvel because he loves the Guardians and he's finishing out, and then he is now the head of DC. Like, that is...
Yeah, that's big.
He has openly been a proponent for the Ayer cut. So now that he's in the role, put your money where your mouth is, James Gunn. Give me the Ayer cut of the Suicide Squad because
We
it
should
might
love
not
that.
be the preferred version of that.
It's not.
I'm just saying. I want to see what the creator's original vision of that film.
I do too. I mean, we got the Snyder Cut, and I personally think the Snyder Cut was a far superior film to the theatrical cut.
I will agree. I do want to see the original idea for it because, you know, when you pass a car crash on the side of the road and you wonder how they, like, wrecked and how it got there, that's how this is for me.
But like,
I want to see how this movie got bad.
Yeah, because, like, the Justice League is so bad, but when you watch the Snyder Cut, it's so good, in my humble opinion.
There were so many times during that I was like, how could they cut this?
Who in their right mind watched this and was like, nope,
With
I don't want to see this?
I trust James Gunn to not meddle. Because he's a director that loves his vision. Like, he's made some weird movies, but it's his vision.
He's just a little zany for my taste.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of the direction in which he's going to take it.
I hope he has more of like a mapping out the future kind of role and less of a direct creative role.
Yes.
I think that he makes very funny movies. I think that he really tries to bring like a levity to all of the films that he makes. And I don't think that's exactly what I want in every DC movie. DC characters generally have very dark storylines, and they get very serious, even more so than actually, like, far and above Marvel's characters normally. I mean, like, Peter Parker is pretty sad, but, you know, Batman's even sadder. You know?
Batman stays sad.
Yeah. So I don't want to see like a Peacemaker version of Batman.
Yeah.
I was sad when they cut out Batman from the end of Peacemaker.
Yeah.
For no reason other than
Hey, they had Ezra Miller in it, though.
drama.
Do we have any more news? Anything else? Is that all we have? That's all we brought to the table?
That's it for news.
Say the James Gunn was definitely the huge one.
Yeah.
So, guys, we've seen 3 movies this month.
3 big ones.
3 big ones, yes. We watched a lot of movies.
So, as you guys know, it's currently October.
Spooky season.
Boo!
So, it's a big month for horror movies. Three pretty big ones came out. So, I guess technically at the end of September, 2 of them came out. So, we're going to talk about Smile, the Hellraiser reboot, sequel, requel, whatever you want to call it, and then Halloween Ends. What do you guys think about Smile?
I liked it.
It was okay.
I think it was a good first entry for that franchise.
Possible franchise. I mean,
Possible
nothing's set in
franchise.
stone, but I see...
They really set it up for
They
them.
did. I went into Smile with very low expectations.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought this movie was going to be terrible. We'd laugh the whole time. Like, not a good movie. And it was I left very, like, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, they got me on the jumps.
That is a thing. I just don't get scared a lot, like, jump scares wise, because, like, I've just gotten used to, like, knowing where they're coming. They got me.
Yeah.
See, I feel like what I liked about that movie was that it didn't rely on jump scares. It relied a lot on dread and fear and, like, just the overall creepiness of a stranger smiling at you. He's gonna come and kill you. Like,
Well, and then at the same time, I mean, they did have good jump scares. I think the strength was that they didn't rely on jump scares, so you never expected
and
them.
when they happened, they were good.
And they were good at subverting
yeah.
them.
Yeah, they didn't feel cheap.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a silent moment and then a hey, like a person that wasn't.
It was
You
like
know.
the scene when she's listening back to that recording.
It got you drawn into something where you just didn't... You were listening for something thinking it was actually, like, plot related.
And there was something spooky right there.
And then, like I said, it did very good at subverting the jump scare formula that Hollywood has created.
Yeah, they weren't predictable at all.
No,
I think that's a big plus on this
Because,
movie.
like, I mean, slasher films do it. I'll use Scream as an example because, I mean, they do this all the time where Ghostface is just oogly boogling everywhere. Like, you'll open a door, and then you'll close a door, and you're like, oh, he could have been behind there. And then she'll walk a hallway, and you'll look in a room. He could have been, like, just a very long, drawn-out scene. Smile did great at not doing any of that. It was just in your face.
My only complaint, I'd say, and it's not even really a complaint, it's just that the whole movie I couldn't stop thinking about It Follows because I prefer that movie.
Very
better.
similar.
There's even a line that's like exactly where one of the people, they say like, it could be a stranger, well, it could be someone you know, and that's a literal line from It Follows. So the whole time I was thinking, this reminds me eerily of It Follows.
Just without the STD awareness.
I mean, I guess...
But you still have to pass it on to somebody else. Like, so
the
it's like...
elephant in the room about it is, I guess, then that it is, like, essentially, like, another It Follows film.
Which I always thought I would have liked a sequel to It Follows.
So, you know...
I would have made a sequel called Follow It.
I mean...
I don't think you would have... I don't think that should have been the move.
Yeah, Follow It. Imagine. And
Are we
follows.
following...
We're following the thing to see where it came from.
Like,
Oh, it's like somebody investigating previous carriers.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
thought
trying
you
to
meant, like-
follow it down the line to see
Alright.
where it started.
Actually-
I thought you meant physically following it while it's following
No,
someone.
no,
Like,
no,
I don't
no,
know if that's what
no,
you
no,
want to...
No, I just thought it'd be a cool play on it because, the first one's Follow It, and you
Yeah.
have a sequel. I mean, the first one's It Follows. You have a sequel called Follow It, where it's the characters from the last movie trying to... Because at the end of the last movie, they just, walk off down the road, and
Yeah.
they just, accept the fact that they're going to be haunted by this thing for all of time. So...
Pretty
I mean,
bleak.
yeah, that is.
I just want more It Follows, and Smile made me want more It Follows. I liked it because I like It Follows, and it reminded me of that vibe, and I liked it.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for more It Follows, this might scratch that itch. Then
Yeah. If you liked It Follows, you'll probably like Smile. It's a very...
If you've never seen It Follows, I would suggest it. It's a very good film.
can we talk about how absolutely stupid the police officer character was?
I'll get to him in a minute. I wrote down the cast because I wanted to see who was in the movie and stuff. Because,
Right.
Halloween Ends, you know who's in it. Hellraiser, didn't really research the cast a lot. I'll get into that later. I'll get into it. I was actually... So, our main character, her name is Saucy Bacon.
What?
Her last name is Bacon. It might have an accent. If it does...
Wait, you're telling me the actress's name is Saucy Bacon? That can't be real.
Saucy Bacon? Bro, if someone wants to bring up that...
Saucy? I would give a saucy
Saucy?
before saucy. The main character in this dish is a nice plate of carbonara.
Yeah, if we get the pronunciation on that. I'm reading Saucy Bacon as an uneducated American.
Saucy Bacon.
Saucy Bacon.
Okay,
So
we got it the first time.
She had minor roles in the Scream TV series.
Ew.
I never watched that.
I
we
watched the
we
first
need to watch.
2
I loved, but
seasons.
we don't talk about the third.
Yeah, because the third one's not even...
It's not connected.
It's not.
But they've talked about bringing back a 4th season, which would be interesting. But yeah, she was a recurring character, I think, in the first season. She was also a character in 13 Reasons Why.
I never
Side character.
finished 13's Reason Why.
I only watched the first season when it was actually hot. But yeah, she was in 13 Reasons Why. I don't know what characters or anything, but I think she did good. I think
In this,
she was.
yeah.
I think she was a good character. I think she played the part well. There wasn't a part where I was taken out of it where her acting was a problem.
Yeah, no, not at all. I thought she did really good. Her husband was a big jerk.
Her husband. Do you know who played her husband?
The guy who plays A-Train. I can't remember.
I
his name.
found that Jesse T. Usher. Yes, played A-Train, and then 2 other things. He played in Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson. It's this remake of a TV show that it did not do well, but I just thought it was funny that he's in Shaft.
Is that
Shaft was mentioned in Donald Glover's stand-up set.
Is Shaft? Does he have some kind of superpowers in Shaft? Am I thinking of the right thing?
You might, or you're thinking of Shazam starring Shaquille
No.
O'Neal, or
I don't think that's Shazam.
Kazam?
I think it's Kazam.
starring Shaquille O'Neal. He was also a side character in Hannah Montana.
What?
Yeah.
A-Train was in Hannah Montana?
A-Train was in Hannah Montana.
That's crazy.
I know. But yeah, he sucked.
Yeah, he was
'Cause-
such a jerk.
It was that weird arc where at first you sided with him because you're like, yeah, no, this girl kind of tripping. If you're thinking from a logical standpoint, yeah, she is crazy.
But then he sneak attacked her with her therapist.
Yeah, he just didn't.
Which wasn't cool.
He didn't handle his partner's trauma
At
you
all.
should.
Yeah, she clearly has some past trauma,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess we haven't really talked about that yet. The main character in this, her mother was a drug addict,
Something like that. Yeah.
and she passed away whenever the daughter was very young, or the main character, sorry, was very young,
Mm-hmm.
and she there's a whole sequence that they keep cutting back to, where her mother is calling for help and wants her to call 911 or whatever, and she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's to be assumed that that's why her mother died.
Yes.
Is because she didn't call 911. And with all that known, what a jerk her husband is. Whenever she starts having any kind of mental health issues, he's not
didn't handle
supportive. He did not handle it well.
And yeah, Sure, she killed the family dog and gave it as a
It
present.
was a cat.
It was a
family
cat.
Yeah, put it in a box and
Mustache.
Yeah, mustache.
Yeah.
Cutest cat ever, and you just knew something bad was going to happen when you saw the cat. They don't cast a cat that cute unless they're going to kill it.
yeah, what a shame. We should have left.
I was so upset, and like it didn't hit me. I leaned over to Kevin, and he leaned over to me at the same time when like we put the pieces together. We're like, 'cause she went to her niece's birthday party.
Her
nephews. You're really on the reversal.
I'll get it one day.
The family dog at her niece's birthday party.
I saw the movie Frown. But yeah, and Ashley's like walking up the present, like me and Kevin was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, because as she's boxing the gift, the cat disappears.
Because she's
I'm a little slow. I didn't know what was happening until the boy was opening the box. And then I was like, oh no.
And then she fell through a glass table, just ruined the kid's party.
That kid has trauma.
Yeah, that kid has trauma that will need to be unpacked, and hopefully they get a significant other that can unpack it with them.
The
better
movie frames that kid's dad as an asshole. That kid's dad is in
He's
the
the hero.
The whole time he's like, you should leave. You shouldn't be here. Don't talk to my wife. You should not
She
be
shouldn't.
here." Yeah, he's absolutely right.
Oh yeah, because like that character should be like isolating. You know, I mean, once
that
she
character's
has
a danger.
Once she has the demon, she should be isolating
And
or whatever it is.
She knows she has the demon too.
Yeah, she knows. She's like actively researching the demon.
Yes.
So she's well aware that
She WebMD'd her possession.
And you know she was accurate. She is an MD. So
No, she's a doctor. Yes. Yeah. So the third main character in this movie, his name
ex-boyfriend.
The ex-boyfriend. He's a cop. His name is Kyle Gardner. I wrote under it the world's saddest looking man. He always looked so sad, like he was about to cry.
He was just down bad. The whole
Yeah,
movie,
he
the whole
lost
movie he
the-
wanted to smash.
Yeah.
He was down bad, and that might have been it.
That's why he's so sad.
Oddly enough, he's been in the most stuff. He was in The Haunted in Connecticut, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake in 2010.
Yuck.
Yeah, yuck. I understand.
I don't even remember that.
He was in American Sniper.
Yuck.
He was in he was in Scream movie from this year.
He was in the new Scream?
He was the guy that got killed in the alley. He was Stu Macher's like nephew, they said.
Huh.
Remember when he got like just stabbed in the neck by his
I'll say it
car?
again. Yuck.
He was Bart Allen in Smallville.
I never watched Smallville.
He was also in like every police show you can think of, like Law and Order. Like he's been in all that crap. Fitting.
So he's just like typecast as a police officer.
Yeah, but like he's done good work and stuff, and like he wasn't a bad actor.
Yeah. His character was
Character's
just a big idiot.
Character's dumb.
Why, if you knew that he knew, and then at the end he just goes to that cabin. So the main character, realizes that the demon or whatever is attached to her needs someone else to be around to pass on. That's like the whole mechanic of this character is somebody has to watch you kill yourself, or you have to kill somebody else.
Yes.
That's like how it works, and this guy knows it because he's been the one helping her because her husband's a jerk.
And he's, trying to slide back in.
Yeah, he's trying to smash. We all know it.
He
that
knows
lady
it,
at the desk
she
knows it.
Everyone knows it. It's like they all read the script.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually.
And so she's isolating, and it's not a cabin. It's like a house in the middle of nowhere where her mother died, and he goes there. He goes there to save her or something, which is like the stupidest decision I've ever seen in a movie ever from a character.
And my last note I wrote down was the ending is a bit cheesy and it fell a little flat for me.
Yeah. Well, it is a bit cheesy, but I was rightly, like, absolutely dumbfounded whenever I realized, oh my god, this thing's just messing with her.
Yes, so what Kevin's referring to is, Brent, you can chime in anytime.
I'm not gonna lie, I forget the last act of this movie. It was a little forgettable. It was okay, it didn't stick with me as much as it did these guys.
That's fine. I'm just saying pick your spot.
In my ear and out the other.
Just say he was not on top with the family cat, so it makes sense.
I can tell you all about It Follows.
He's our resident It Follow guy. So the lady, she goes to her old family house and stuff, and she like confronts the smile demon it's in her mother's form.
Yeah.
From like the flashbacks it's been teasing.
It's all
So
coming back to me now.
And then it grows into the big Dommy Mommy.
yeah, yeah, she stands up and already dressed uglily promiscuous. She's wearing like
It's
a bag.
absolutely foul.
It's foul. Yuck. Yeah, and then she grows into Dommy Mommy and just starts like running around the house after her, and the girl like stabs her,
And then lights her on fire.
lights her on fire, and escapes.
I don't know if there's a stab, but I know she lights her on
Yes.
fire. And the demon's like, oh no, I'm on fire! And then she like runs out of the house and the whole thing crumples. And then doesn't time pass?
It cuts to her driving
Oh,
back.
she goes to the
goes to
guy's
the cop's
house.
house.
The
And
cop's house.
At this point, I'll admit, I thought that was the end at first. I had a little inkling that something was going to happen. I'm like, I'll give the movie a pass if this is the ending. And she goes to the cop's house, and he's like, yo, what's up, spitting game.
Alright. I mean, that's an ending, I guess.
Yes, and so she's talking to him and stuff, and like, the dialogue, I don't know.
And she asks, can I stay the night here? And the boyfriend replies, or not the boyfriend, sorry, the ex-boyfriend replies, you can stay here forever. And then it's like, and he's smiling.
The
and
music
then,
starts like getting creepy and stuff.
He's smiling and all creepy, like.
She's crying. She's doing her best. Like this, I can't believe this is happening.
And then she like turns around or something, and then they're back in that house in the middle of nowhere.
And like at that point, it hit me. I'm like, I don't think the fire would have killed the demon. I feel like someone would have tried.
Yeah, it's like
The demon's just having a laugh.
Oh, the demon's like, I'm in your mind, and she's like, you're in my mind.
Yeah, she's like, I run this house.
And then, but the demon was in control the whole time.
Yeah.
It was like
total girl boss move. Dommy Mommy knew what she was
Dommy Mommy
doing.
knew what she was doing. Yeah.
But I hate that's her nickname.
It stuck.
So yeah, Dommy Mommy takes complete control of the situation and forces her way inside of our main character's mouth. And I'm not trying to be innuendo. That's just how this happened.
It was actually
foul.
Disgusting.
Why don't I remember this?
The main character ate Dommy Mommy.
For any of it.
No,
Where were
I
you?
was there. I don't know.
You were there. You're right.
You were on another planet.
I guess so, because I was thinking about It Follows. I couldn't help myself.
You were watching it on your phone.
Yeah, I was in the theater.
Brent's
like,
over here having.
reminds me of.
He's daydreaming about his other favorite demon following movie.
I just love a good demon that follows.
Give me something that follows.
That follows
And
me
I'm in.
creepily, like, I'm into that.
Brent's favorite hypothetical is the snail that follows you.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
It is.
I could move to Canada, but it'll come eventually.
Yeah,
I got
after,
8 good years.
700 years.
700 years.
It's a snail.
If the snail's constantly moving
He's
at a
gonna get-
breakneck pace.
You can get on a bus.
I never considered the snail taking like
Public
transit,
transit.
public transit, private
You're in New
transit,
York- you're-
transit in general.
You're on New York City and you're in the subway and you just see a snail crawl off the A train. He's like, hey. And you're like, couldn't be. No.
Just fly elsewhere. You can, like, it's small. It'd be hard to see, but like as soon as you see it,
What if you go to space? Do you think he's gonna like hitch a ride on like
how do you
Bezos'
get to
space
yeah,
rocket?
if you go up in the penis rocket, how does he get to you?
He takes another penis rocket.
You like see a news article? It's like first nail,
First snail in the
first
space.
nail out of space.
What?
You just
wait,
see
what?
a
what
very
did you say?
tiny fucking
It's so
spaceship.
small. It's going slow too.
I mean, you still got a lot of time if that's the case.
You do, but where are you
in
gonna go?
space?
You're in space.
You have a lot of time. I mean,
You act like space is infinite.
Yeah,
You-
You dork.
you know what? You know what I would do? Get a tennis racket, go out and space myself, smack a ship out of trajectory.
He'll eventually come back.
I don't know, man. That's actually my solution. Launch the snail in space. How is he gonna get back to you? Hitch a ride on an asteroid?
What if he like meets an alien planet full of snails that are slightly faster than him, and he brings them back to? You've doomed humanity, and he's still gonna get you.
Well, not every snail will instantly kill everybody.
You're-
That's not how the
But he's
hypothetical
their
works.
leader. He like
Oh, so it's like snails with ray guns.
yes.
We've completely gone off the rails here.
Let me give you another hypothetical. What would you do? What would you do? I'm trying to bring her back in. What would you do if you picked up a puzzle box?
We didn't get.
I
we
would
didn't talk.
solve it.
We didn't talk about the ending of Dami Mommy.
We never finished Dami Mommy.
In my eyes, it was done and over with a long time ago.
So Brent wants to move on. So the dumb cop ex-boyfriend guy barges into the house.
And he's like laughing in the face of the one rule of the movie. Don't go near this lady because she's gonna kill herself, and then you're gonna get
Saucy
the demon.
Bacon lights herself on fire after Dami Mommy possesses her. And the world's saddest man then proceeds to look at her the entire time. And she's killing herself. And it cuts to black.
You know, I guess, if anything, it's a happy ending for him. Because he won't be sad anymore.
You're right. He's gotta be smiling. He'll still find a way to look sad. I gave this movie a 7.5 out of 10.
Honestly, I think that's fair.
I think that's a fair rating. That's very average, kind of like... I didn't hate it.
Do think this is a really strong potential new franchise.
Yes.
I think that they could either wildly go up or wildly down from
Brent,
here.
on a scale of 1 to It Follows, what do you rate it?
Man, I give it a...
Snail that follows you around.
I give it a... Yeah. I give it a 3 snails out of 10.
Ooh, that's a good rating for Brent, actually, for the snail meter.
Yeah,
The snail meter.
The snailometer.
But yeah, so this puzzle box you brought up.
Yeah, so the next movie we want to talk about, we mentioned it before, is Hellraiser.
Another movie I don't remember the ending of. I fell asleep.
So, Brent, I kind of did the opposite.
The ending was the best part.
I did the opposite.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Hellraiser movie. I did not pay attention to the first half.
I have seen a few Hellraisers.
So, I know the gist. I'm really bad about knowing movies and knowing what they're about,
But never
watching them.
You have enough to like sit in a conversation, but never enough to contribute.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Like that whole last segment we were talking about.
Yeah,
you did good sitting next to us, yes.
Yeah.
I was listening.
Just taking her all in.
You were killing it, honestly.
Thank you.
So, Hellraiser it's not really clear if it's a reboot of the series, a remake, or a sequel to the 10 or 11 films leading up to it. There are a lot of like straight to DVD Hellraisers.
A lot of hell being raised.
There are a lot of hell being raised. And I think, just without really going into it a whole lot, I think this was good. I think that it has a slow start.
It sure is a slow start.
It's a 2-hour-long movie, and the first half is very slow.
I wrote notes while watching it.
You're insane.
Because I just didn't know how else I'd remember this movie. It's a very forgettable movie for me.
Really? I like the first half. I could see being pretty forgettable.
No, I tuned in. You saw me tuning in at the end and stuff.
The end is like
it's very a good ending.
As a gay man, you get me with a gay character.
Too.
Gay tragedy.
Gay tragedy? Oh, I love it. You love to see it.
My first impression was, this is controversial. The main girl.
Oh no.
I didn't like any of what she was working with. The perm, she had a perm.
Oh my god.
And under that perm
was Nick Kroll's face.
Nick Kroll's face.
It's so mean.
And this is nothing again. I'm sure she's beautiful outside of Hellraiser.
It was definitely the makeup and clothing people that did her dirty here.
Yes. I mean, she just...
I'm gay, so I thought she looked fine. She looked fine to me. She just looked like a girl.
I don't know. She looked... After watching... whenever I first watched it, like the week prior, I watched Don't Worry, Darling. And Nick Kroll is in that. For no reason. And after watching Don't Worry, Darling and seeing a lot of Nick Kroll and then watching that, I mean, it's just like, she looks just like Nick Kroll. And I feel really bad for saying it. I don't feel like... I honestly don't know why you opened with this.
It's the first note I wrote down. The first thing that stuck out to me was
It wasn't the guy's penis hair in the beginning.
Didn't see it.
Oh my gosh.
I missed penis hair.
Oh my gosh, the guy in the very beginning, if you look at the back of his head, like the silhouette of his head looks like a penis.
Oh.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant there was actual peen to be seen.
Well, my
Oh,
second
no.
note.
Damn.
My second note isn't really a note. It's more of a request. I wish Mike Tyson played Hellraiser. Me and Kevin just immediately took off of this one, and I just think it's very funny.
My Philibite for coming together.
Brent's got the right idea. Just
So
Which
many types
Cinnabon
to
was?
see.
Which Cinnabon delight was your favorite? Tag yourself. I'm the one with the teeth.
oh, you liked Mr. Chompy.
Mr. Chompy, the one who got the.
I think he's like they call him like Chatter or
The
something.
one
like
that like got the chains and just like loved
Yeah.
it every second of it.
and then he was like
Exploded.
blasted into a bajillion little pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gone.
He was ready
My
for it, though.
favorite is the one that looks like Morpheus from the original. you guys didn't get to see him. There's one in the original Hellraiser that looks like Morpheus if you just fed him and just never stopped feeding him.
Just chunky.
He's huge, but he looks like Morpheus.
I didn't learn the main characters' names till halfway through the movie.
It was Riley, right?
Yes.
Riley and then Trevor.
Yes, and I
There
have him in
is,
caps lock.
And then so Riley, Trevor,
Matt dies first.
Matt, and then there's
Nora.
yeah, I was gonna say Nora. I'm trying to remember the C name.
Colin.
Colin.
Colin
Right?
lives.
Yeah, Colin lives.
That fuck lives.
Yeah.
You.
I missed the end. Did
you
I
not
haven't seen
he
the ending.
slept through the ending.
I fell asleep. I'm pretty bad about falling asleep. If you don't keep my interest.
The ending was the best part of that movie. The effects are so cool.
No, okay, I will say for what I was awake of it, the effects sick. Really good.
The Pinhead is now a female in the new installment, and I think she killed it.
I mean, literally.
Do we know if Pinhead's ever taken one of his pins out before? And
She
She
did in
did.
the movie.
That's what I'm saying. Has he
oh,
ever done that
previously.
before?
I don't know. I don't. I haven't watched all of them.
I
I've
thought
watched,
to myself, that's pretty neat. I've never seen that before.
I've seen like 3 of them. So the thing that interests me, you guys. I mean, do you guys care about spoilers for the previous ones?
I do
Oh,
not. They've been
so-
out since the 80s.
They kind of set up in, I think, the 3rd one that the Cenobites are
Such a bad name.
the Cinnabon Delights.
The Cinnabon Delights.
They set up that the Cinnabon Delights are actual people, and I think it's the 3rd one that have been, I don't know, through the Leviathan
They
challenge.
touched on this in this movie.
Yeah, they did. They've changed the system. I don't think it was like this before,
Okay.
where it's like a 4-stage program. I'm pretty sure they changed the system.
They get their 2 months
And-
chip in hell.
They changed Pinhead because Pinhead dies in one of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And I'm kind of happy that they brought him back. Or her now, I guess. Pinhead's like the coolest leader of any demon band, demon boy band I've ever seen in my life. And for it to now be a girl band, I'm all about it.
They look outside, they're at a campfire just tuning.
I don't know, what did you guys think of like the costume design?
Oh, sick.
It was so cool.
Hellraiser's always had sick costumes.
Yes.
So.
One of my notes was they all look like Courage the Cowardly Dog villains.
I think they used a lot of leather in the past, and
They tried to avoid that.
They've gone from leather to just absolute strips of their own skin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very fleshy, this movie.
Yeah. A lot of genital mutilation.
Loved peeling flesh in this movie, I'll tell you what.
Man, I really, really wish I had a thing of chapstick whenever I watched that guy's lips peel away.
Ew.
That was crazy.
I don't remember that.
You slept through
Thank God.
it.
The villain that isn't Hellraiser, his name's Voight.
Yeah, it's like
It's Voight.
Voight. I think
Roland
Jonathan
Voight.
Roland Voight.
Roland Voight.
I was
Jonathan Voight
close.
is an actor. John Voight. That's Angelina Jolie's dad.
You know, famed villain Jonathan Voight.
I mean, it makes sense why I remember the name. I guess.
I mean, word association is a thing. Yeah, Roland Voight. He's the bad guy,
Yeah.
but I thought he was kind of spitting at some truth at the end. And
You're completely ignoring the fact that he has he killed a whole chain of people for the first thing.
And I get that. bad mamma jam on his part.
So-
Did not.
Real quick, so Roland Voigt has been through the gauntlet of puzzle box challenges already. The puzzle takes different forms throughout this movie, and it wants your blood.
It's the world's hardest Rubik's Cube.
It's the world's most convoluted Rubik's Cube.
With blades.
With knives, blades, whatever you
Hate.
want to call them. Yeah, hate. Cinnabon delights.
Literal hell.
Well, I don't know if it's
She
necessarily...
put her finger in it. I mean, it went somewhere.
So he's been through the gauntlet, and at the end of the gauntlet in this one, you get a gift from the Leviathan, the god of this.
Hellraiser.
Yeah. I don't know if it's to be assumed that is God. It's just some kind of Lovecraftian horror type thing. It's just a giant obelisk that...
Master.
Yeah, that can do unspeakable things and has motives that you don't quite understand.
Boy, does it.
Yeah, and so he gets a gift from the Leviathan that just is the worst gift anybody's
Just
ever
puts
got.
a key in his chest.
He puts this very...
Saw trap looking.
Yeah, it's just a really complicated thing that pulls strings through his body all the time.
It pulls on his nerves
Yeah, with
to where he
strings.
hurts, but not long. But it'll stop to where he doesn't get numb
Yeah.
from it. So he's in constant pain.
Mm-hmm.
Super messed up.
Yeah.
Like
How is that a gift?
Well, it's because the Cenobites and the Leviathan...
they're like
think-
genies.
They want experience beyond experience, and they think that the only way to obtain that is through extreme pain, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
They're like an extreme version of like people who like cock and ball torture.
I don't know why that community needs dragged into the Hellraiser mythos.
I mean,
They're kinky, okay?
Yeah.
They're kinky.
Hellraiser's just kinky, man. Let 'em
before
be.
they were like a bunch of leather daddies. Now they're like
Now they're
knife
into-
blade
Now they're into
enthusiasts.
S&M.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like you'll wish for something, and then it's like, oh, you want this key in your chest, like.
It's not it at all.
That's what I got
He
out of
picks
it.
sensation from people who enjoy having their skin sliced into strips. Like, what kind of sensation are you going to get from those people? Nothing good.
I mean, he wanted what's his first thing that got him the key in the chest? What did he pick? Do we know? Do we remember?
It was... So she picked Lament.
Yes. Which we'll
he
get
gets
to.
he gets Leviathan at the end.
He gets power, yeah.
Or yeah, which
Yeah,
the Leviathan
Leviathan.
configuration's power. It's sensation, but I can't remember the L word that they used for it.
Whatever. But yeah, key in his chest, just yanking on him. So he becomes like the hidden villain that we don't see till like Act 2.
He's like the Rat Man in Portal.
Yeah, the guy that it's literally you have to really hunt to find the story there.
Yeah, he's that character in this.
So at the end,
He's living in the walls.
he is living in his walls. At the end, like when the band of Hellraisers all roll up, the three main characters that are alive,
They realize that they can
Colin-
hellraise the razors.
yeah, Colin, Riley, and Thomas. Is it Thomas?
Trevor?
Trevor. These characters have no impact.
So
on me.
Riley goes to the estate,
Mhm.
and then Trevor brings Colin and Nora to find her at the estate, and I guess to try to convince her to go home.
Sure.
Maybe? At least that's what they tell you.
Anyways, Voight like has this
He has a
metal,
grand piano in his chest.
yeah,
and,
just shredding on his nervous system.
and he's hanging out in the walls,
Mhm.
and Nora ends up going through a trapdoor because she's flipping switches.
Yes,
And the door closes. He has switches all over the place to do all kinds
real
of things.
Scooby Doo mansion.
While Riley and Riley and Colin are having
Yeah.
a chit chat, he steals the box and absolutely jabs Nora right in the back.
The Prime Meridian from Scooby Doo.
Prime Meridian. The Damon-ritis?
Demon right? What's the Prime
I have no clue. I feel like that's something I should know, but it's definitely not the Damon-ritis from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Damon-ritis.
She gets Damon-ritis right in the back. She is the Racker Rice.
Prime meridian is an arbitrary meridian in a geographic coordinate system at which longitude is defined to be 0. Together, a prime meridian and its anti-meridian form a great circle.
The prime and the anti-meridian? Wow, that sounds like some sci-fi stuff.
I'm so stupid.
So she gets Damon-ritis right in the back, right? And then they throw her in a van and start driving.
And boy, is she zooted.
Yeah, she's really out of it. The van that they're in starts growing into a catacomb, which was like one of the coolest effects in the movie. I made David watch. I was like, David, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're writing notes. You're watching this.
So I watched it,
and
I didn't make a note on it.
And it's like one of my standout favorite parts of the movie. They're trying to drive around, and these Cenobites are just trying to trap them in all kinds of catacombs that they're spawning everywhere. And they just say, screw it, we'll turn the van into a catacomb. And man, was that crazy.
We'll do it ourselves.
This is the first time that I can think of seeing, you mentioned it earlier, Pinhead taking a pin out of her head. And she puts it right through Nora's throat.
Oh, yeah. And, like, they show it from the inside, like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Yeah, which was so gross and
Didn't
cool.
like that.
It was cool, though.
It was
You
cool.
didn't like it. You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, by design, you didn't like it. You're not supposed to like it. Did you notice it did a weird thing to her voice?
No.
It did, like, the Pinhead thing. You know how, like, Pinhead's voice has got, like, that two-tone thing going on?
She's got reverb on.
Yeah. Yeah, they turned reverb on Nora's voice, too.
I hate when I get reverbed.
Yeah, right? You get a pin through the throat, and then you got reverb.
Happens to me every Thursday.
And then they ripped Nora's back off.
Yeah. Like, at first they're like, we're gonna tease you, and then they just make her a rug.
Yeah, and they leave it in the van. That was disgusting.
For her friends to find. Closed casket for sure.
That's all that's left of her is that rug, that back skin rug.
Ugh.
So Riley runs away with the box.
And she does this a lot. She's super independent
She's
and it
a
never
slippery
works.
one.
It never works for her.
And then Pinhead, like, corners her and is like, hey, you're going to do what we want, and then, like, jabs her in the hand with the box.
Well, at first she's like, nah, and then he jabs her.
Well, yeah,
She's like, I'm not doing what you say, demon, and he's like, we'll see about that.
She's like, we'll see about that.
Yeah. I think I found out Pinhead was a woman 20 minutes before the movie was over.
I told you.
She had tits. What
I
do you
told
mean?
you so many times.
No,
I said it like 4 times, and you completely ignored me
I
every
did.
time. And
It's a talent I've acquired.
Yeah, Pinhead's like, you're gonna do what I say, and then they find out that you can Hellraise the Hellraisers.
Yeah, so she stabs Mr. Chompy.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. my man.
Best Cinnabon.
Number 1 Cinnabon in our heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they run back into the mansion. Voight's like, I'm here too. And
You find out that Trevor was a no good, filthy scumbag.
yeah, I didn't care to find that. Like, it was a twist.
I felt bad for Riley through this whole movie. You may not have liked her.
Didn't care.
I was just like, man, this really sucks for her. She just got out of that 12-step program, and this happens.
This is a movie where I rooted for no one.
Well, you rooted for the villain. I remember you saying, I like what
You're
this
right.
guy's got going on.
I liked what... So at the end, Voight, like, stands up to the Hellraisers.
He's like, take this thing out of my chest.
Yeah, and he's like, F you, and, like, standing up to the Hellraisers and stuff. I'm like, doing a good job. I think he has a pretty good argument.
Yeah, these things are practically gods, and they can do unimaginable things.
And he's, like, taking a stand, because he's like, this is unfair. And in hindsight, I didn't know what was to follow. And so... This stupid girl, freaking Riley, flips the switch, the Hellraisers come in, she steals the Damon-ritis,
Yeah.
and Hellraiser and Voight are having a talk. Downstairs, Colin's getting just piano wired.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's pretty brutal.
Trevor walks down just to get a front row seat.
And then Riley's there too.
And the whole gang showed up. They barter with the demon. She stabs Trevor.
I've never seen somebody use the Damon-ritis as a weapon like that. The Damon-ritis is a weapon in its own right where it slashes your hand. I've never seen the whole thing used as the stabbing utensil. That was crazy for me.
Yeah, so Trevor gets dragged to hell, basically.
He falls, it doesn't get dragged. He's laying on like a weird hexagonal pool table and
like-
it falls out.
No, there's a wire around his throat.
Yeah, but it like the thing just falls from underneath him and he falls to hell.
I just like to think someone was at the bottom of that well.
And they
just
just
like
tugged.
they just
give him a good tug.
and then he went. Ah. You know how you would fall. And so Colin and Riley are alive.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
Voight is getting... He got the big chain from Big Boss, the Leviathan.
Yeah, I was so on his side. He got the key removed. His chest rebuilt itself.
And then Pinhead was like, you thought that was the end.
And he's like, I kind of did, but I want power now. He double dipped. After
then,
he had a key in his chest for
well,
years.
no, she offered power, and he was like, please, anything but this.
Which, I don't know why you would take it at that point. I mean, you know they're con men.
I mean, maybe a whole 6 years of having that piano in his chest changed him.
So he gets big chained up to the mothership.
Yeah. Big Daddy sends the big chain down.
Yeah.
They love their chains, though, Cinnabons.
Oh, that's like their main weapon. And then like the end credit scene is him like he's just getting peeled like a banana. And that's how
really...
yeah.
Well, you've missed the most tragic part. So
the actual ending,
Riley gets to pick one of the several packages. There are like 5 options, 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many. There are a lot of options that you can pick. There's several of them. And she picks the most tragic one, the lament option, where she just has to, she knows all this stuff happened, all these people that she loved died, and she just has to deal with that. Real tragic ending. I think that she's more of a tragic character than you're giving her credit for. She sucks. She's like a bad character, and I think that's on purpose. It's like giving you someone that you can maybe not feel so bad about having all this terrible stuff happen to her. But it's like all the people around her weren't that terrible. Like her brother just was like looking out for her. He died because of her. Mm-hmm. Nora died. That lady that was trying to lock the box up and have nobody mess with it, she died. Also, we completely glazed over that Riley Mr. Magooter way through a thing that Mr. Voight had paid thousands and thousands of dollars
just
to have
crawled
done.
through under Cinnabon's legs. Like it was pretty.
She like grabbed the Damonitis and it jabbed one lady in the hand just because she like there was like a little scuffle.
Yeah.
And that's how one of the people got raised to hell. But yeah, it's like a really tragic story of a bunch of people having their lives horribly affected by an addict. It's kind of like this just came to me. This is like almost like a reflection of how addicts and addiction affect people, like around someone who is addicted.
People on drugs act like real Cenobites.
No, that's not
the lesson.
That's
not what I was going for.
That's the lesson.
No, it's Riley is an addict, and her actions are grossly affecting all the people around her. And then it takes personal change for those people to not be affected anymore. But the damage is still there forever because of the actions of the addict.
That's actually like a super deep. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
I thought this was like an 8. I liked the original Hellraiser.
It was super slow
I
at the
liked
beginning.
this one.
Too slow at the beginning.
Yeah, but some movies are slow in the beginning. I think the ending makes up for it.
For the half of the movie that I saw, I thought it was okay.
How many snails we give it?
Yeah, how many snails we get?
I'm gonna give it 6 snails out of 10.
So we got a 5 snails, a 6 snails,
And an 8.
Are snails gonna become our rating?
We can change it. We don't have to. We can change it every episode.
time.
It should be different. Whatever we're feeling.
I give this movie 5 pins out of 10.
Ooh, yeah, pins. Yeah, 6 pins.
I'm gonna give it 8 Cinnabon delights.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna give it 5 Mike Tysons.
That's a
I'm
lot.
Gonna give it
That's a lot of Mike
That's
Tysons.
a lot of Mike Tyson.
That's a lot of hell to be
impossible
raised.
Rubik's cubes.
5 prime meridians.
Can we get to the big meat? Can we get to the
our main event?
Okay.
Is
the worst movie I've seen in recent history.
It's the most tragic movie I've seen because I love Halloween.
This was my number 1 anticipated movie of the year.
Maybe in your life. You've been really looking forward to this movie.
Ever since 2018's Halloween, I've been so excited to see this through. because I really enjoyed that movie, and I was one of the only people that I know of who enjoyed Halloween Kills. I really liked it. Did you like it too?
Yes, and I defended that movie with all my heart because I knew this was a bridge to their ending, and I'm like, it has to pay off.
It was a really terrible bridge.
So
to
now-
a really terrible ending.
Now looking back,
This was the bridge to Terabithia.
looking back, Halloween Kills is slightly worse in my opinion because this is what they built to.
Wow, see,
They
in my
squandered
opinion, Halloween Kills is all the more better.
By comparison, yes.
I
Story-wise,
think-
it fell.
I think the mistake that they made was making Halloween Kills what Halloween Ends should have been.
Mm-hmm.
They should have ended it.
Evil Dies Tonight.
It should have just been 2 movies.
Yeah.
Because
That's
then you
what
could
I'm
have had Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. And that would have been a good trilogy.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
And then a Halloween Ends comes along, and
And I think I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to... Also, come on.
Come
man.
on.
that's how I feel. That's how I feel about it, man.
I think they were trying to do a Season of the Witch without the backlash of no Michael Myers that Season of the Witch had. But in my opinion, they completely bastardized Season of the Witch in doing that. Because I like Season of the Witch.
That was one of my notes. Yes, I like Season of the Witch too. As a horror movie, it's a good movie, but it has suffered from being a part of the Halloween franchise. But they were trying to make an anthology series. But it's just viewed in the Halloween franchise now. It doesn't have Michael Myers. People hate it by that. But it's a good movie.
They ended it with 2.
Yes.
They left one open-ended. John Carpenter left one open-ended. They wrapped it up in 2.
Mm-hmm.
There was more story to be told, so 2, they wrapped it up. 3, they were trying something new. I'm okay with that. I like when studios try something new. Don't market your movie as Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers in the brawl to end all brawls and give me some unknown character that we don't care about for the entire movie up until the very end.
Yeah, I wrote... This was not the movie to pay homage to Season of the Witch.
No.
They marketed this trilogy as a Michael Myers trilogy. He was on every poster. You can't have the final Michael Myers movie have 15 minutes total, maybe, at most, of Michael Myers. This is not the place to do your tribute.
They sidelined him in his own movie.
Yes.
I know, it's absolutely insane. And again, it's like my biggest problem was the marketing around it. I mean, like...
My biggest problem about it is Danny McBride and David Gordon Green's
yeah,
nerve.
Yeah, I can't believe what you did to us, Danny McBride. If you're listening to this,
Danny
how
McBride.
dare you?
I titled this movie Halloween, New Mike, Same Mask.
You know...
If they would have set it up to have him be the killer, I'd have been probably more okay with it.
Yeah, there's no setup.
If they would have went spooky with it, I would have went... Because, like,
it was just like
the last Halloween 4, 5, and 6, a bunch of spooky hogwash. And you know what? I would have rather had the Cult of Thorn than what we got. I was hoping, and, like, whenever Michael Myers and Corey lock eyes and like something's going on between
I thought
them,
they were gonna kiss.
I was like, well, I didn't think they were gonna kiss. I was like, oh my god, they're doing the Jamie Lloyd thing. His essence is going into this guy.
Did you want him to look at his wrist like Loomis?
Yes,
at the
and
end
have the Cult of Thorn symbol.
Cult of Thorn
I would have
symbol?
shat myself right there in the theater.
That
I
would
would
have been.
I would have got up
That
and
would've
clapped.
foul.
I would have got up and clapped.
I would have honestly. I would have hated that.
You prefaced
I
this
would've hated
movie
it.
before
I
we
would've-
went into
I
Halloween
would've
Ends.
left.
You said, if they bring back Cult of Thorn, I will leave.
And, you know, now that I know the other end of the rainbow, I really wish it were that instead. It was so bad, we went back and rewatched, Brent and I, 4, 5, and 6. Because people were saying that this movie is better than those. And as Michael Myers films, certainly those are superior in every way. I actually ended up liking 4, 5, and 6 at the end of that. I hadn't honestly watched them in a really long time. I preferred them to Halloween Ends.
I think Loomis carries the franchise for me, and
Yeah.
without Loomis...
It's a hard...
I think that's why I love Halloween Kills so much, because for that 2 seconds in that flashback, movie magic just takes over my soul. And
I
I'm
was
like,
a kid
that's
again.
Donald Pleasance, and he's screaming, and I love it, and I'm all about it.
I wish you had never showed me that scene again, because I will never unhear the terrible impression the voice actor that dubbed
He's
over did.
doing his best.
But his best is really terrible.
It's not. When it's
I'm not
in the
saying-
moment and it's happening, it looks beautiful, it sounds beautiful, their use of blue light, oh, it's great, it's beautiful. And then the rest of the movies happen.
I can't believe. So back to Halloween Ends. I cannot believe that they made the last Halloween movie, Grease 2.
So I've never seen Grease 2, so can you elaborate?
So in Grease 2, there is a foreign exchange student who is kind of a nerd. He's not very popular, and he has this huge crush on this girl in class.
Okay.
I think he works at a mechanic shop.
So far, you're on track.
He gets a motorcycle, he gets a leather jacket, and he becomes the coolest guy in the town.
There's no
They
way.
sing
He
a song
gets
about
the
him,
girl.
they go, ooh,
Well, that sounds like that's very Grease
who's
typical.
that guy? And they're all like
Yeah.
looking around like, who is that guy on that bike?
I cannot believe that the villain in this movie works in a mechanic shop. He's a weirdo. Nobody likes him. He gets a motorcycle. He's slaying puss.
He is, and we will touch on that because man, do I have a lot to say.
He's not only slaying the civilians of Haddonfield.
So let's just roll up. For those who haven't seen the movie starts, and it's Halloween 2019, and this guy named Corey is babysitting for these lovely parents. They're going out, they have this kid, it's all's great, and the babysitter's a little on edge because Michael Myers been out doing slaying.
Michael Myers kills babysitters.
And he does kill babysitters. And long story short,
The worst kid ever.
babysitter gets locked in a closet,
I hated this kid.
and he's terrified of the big boogeyman, and so he tries to kick the door open. And as the parents come home, he kicks the door open, and the child on the other end of the door flies over the railings and splats on the ground in the most dramatic,
This kid plummets.
just the most Looney Tune Wile E. Coyote splat that I've ever seen on film.
And we'll stop here. I was drawn in.
Yeah, they had me.
Oh, I was like, yes.
I leaned forward. I had my hands over my mouth. I was in.
I was like shook.
I'm like, this movie's gonna be awesome.
Real quick side note: this franchise loves killing kids, right? Didn't Michael kill a kid in the first one?
So in 2018's Halloween, he did kill like a little gay kid who wanted to dance. Do you not remember that?
I thought he killed. I
Yeah.
thought he killed a kid that was in a car too, right?
At the beginning, the kid's in the car.
Wait, was that
and
a gay kid that
the
wanted to
dad's
dance?
talking to his kid about like, why don't you like to fish? And he's like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
like to dance, Dad.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Gay
Was that-
tragedy
Was that,
strikes
character, was
again.
that character confirmed gay, or are we just saying that?
I'm a
he
gay
likes to
man.
dance.
I'm inferring. He had the gay tones, just like me.
I was like, is that?
I related to this little boy who just wanted to dance. He didn't want to fish or hunt. He just wanted to. And you know what? And Michael Myers came up and kills him. So he kills him so bad.
This franchise just loves killing kids.
And killing gays. Do you not remember in Halloween Kills the two gay guys that live in Michael Myers' house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael Myers is like high key homophobic.
Yeah.
So, we go to like present time, and Corey's the outcast because he killed a kid.
He rides a bicycle everywhere.
That's not even my biggest problem. My biggest problem with the time jump is that we've established in these past two movies that Laurie Strode has been waiting for this moment for 40 years.
Yeah.
She's turned her house into a trap. She's devoted her whole life into killing this monster that she's just consumed. And 4 years later, she's like baking pies and writing books. And
To be
She has
fair-
a cute little relationship with one
Yeah.
of the police officer guys in town.
To be fair, Michael Myers did become a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle for these 4 years. So, I mean, I'd start kind of relaxing a little too. I'd still be on edge, and I think she showed that she's
But he's
on
a
edge.
geriatric man.
She's
with
also
it.
writing a book.
Here's the thing, though, is that in the first movie, it establishes like he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back, and I have to be ready. And at the end of that movie, he kills her daughter.
He's come
He
back.
kills. He's come.
He's all the way
he's
back.
all the way back. He kills her daughter, and then she's just like, I have to heal. Like it's
Yeah.
a total 180. It's like a total 180
Um,
from how they established
Yeah,
her.
I don't know how Jamie Lee Curtis was okay with this script.
And that was one of my notes too. I love Jamie Lee Curtis with all my heart. She is one of these sweethearts of Hollywood.
She's got this shit down to a science and an
Yes.
art. She knows what she's doing. She plays this role perfectly. She's the best part. There should be more of her.
Yes. So then Corey goes to the supermarket
Oh, and
to
he gets
get milk. Chocolate milk.
he gets like a yoo-hoo, like an
It
offering.
gets a yoo-hoo. You know, not even good chocolate milk like
It gets
sugar.
a chocolate drink.
It's a yoo-hoo.
It's a yoo-hoo. They
It's-
labeled
it's-
out.
Yeah, it's like an off-brand yoo-hoo.
Yo-ho. Oh, yoo-hoo. So he walks outside, and this, like, convertible pulls up, and we're like, uh-oh.
It's
And
the cool kids.
It's the football team.
Think again.
It's band kids. Marching band. No disrespect to marching band kids. You guys just don't strike me as the kind of people that would make a serial killer out of a man.
That's fair.
It's
well,
If you play your instrument bad, maybe.
I don't know. There's a lot of hazing in the marching band. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna.
So, I wouldn't know. I just stayed very far away from that community.
I'm not a marching band person myself, but I knew marching band kids in high school, and there's
I had
like
class with some.
there's like a hazing problem, I guess, in the marching band. So maybe they could be hardened killer makers.
So, they suck.
Yeah, they really did.
They tried to peer pressure Corey into buying alcohol, and Corey's like,
and they're not even his peer. He's like a grown adult,
he's a
and they're
grown
children.
Yeah. It's not, yeah. And so Corey's like, I don't want to, I'm a good guy. And they, like, push him, and he, like, gets really upset, and they're like, oh, you're the guy that killed that kid, you kid killer, which is a very accurate nickname.
It's just a thing that he did. He killed a kid.
It's,
Didn't mean to.
he
Doesn't mean he's not a kid killer.
he's got a KD. And he gets so mad, he, like, squeezes his Yoo-Hoo bottle, and it just breaks.
Which, I don't know if that's a knock on the manufacturing of Yo-Hos, or this man is just incredibly
He's just
strong.
got those grip, like, weights and stuff. He's just always just...
And so, if he has that kind of grip strength, how did he ever get shoved off the bridge? If he's that inhumanly strong, how did these kids ever... Because later in the film, these kids, they gang up on him.
Again, these kids were more of a villain than Michael Myers was.
It's true.
Michael Myers was the third biggest villain in his own movie.
Much like how I think Dr. Loomis is the villain of the original movies, these kids are the villain of this film.
Yeah, so Corey, like, cuts his hand up, and then the band kid's like, oh, he's bleeding, and they push him down into the glass. And then go to the store. And, of course, Laurie Strode's at the gas station. And she's like, hey, you okay? Let's go to the ER. My granddaughter works there.
My hot granddaughter.
My hot granddaughter works there.
You should bone her.
You should. She's looking for a date. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Oh, your hand's still bleeding. And so they go to the hospital. Allison's there, her granddaughter. And it's like the plot needed it. They fall in love.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's like paint by numbers. I mean, they couldn't have been more predictable.
So they go to this party real quick. Corey's having a good time. Then he meets the mom of the son he killed. And she's like, you killed my son. Which she's not wrong.
Yeah.
And he freaks out.
And, you know, to be fair, they both have trauma. She's being, like, a little insensitive.
Pretty over top.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't the dad even, like, sorry?
Well, not to
We'll get
him.
later.
To Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. To Laurie Strode.
That's
He's
like
like,
a later scene.
My wife was a little out of hand. But that's like after he's off the deep end, after he got shoved off the bridge by the band geeks.
Yeah, so Corey leaves the party in a panic, and he's like, he looks at Allison, he's like, you're trying to fix me, I'm a project. And he runs off. The band geeks catch up with him, throw him off a bridge, and he gets dragged off by a mysterious, not seen figure, which we can only hope at this point is Michael Myers.
Because we haven't seen him, like, once in the movie.
No. We haven't seen Michael the entire film. And something probably happened in between this, but then we catch up in the sewer. Kevin, what happens in the sewer?
Oh, so he's in the sewer, right? He's like, how did I get here? And he starts to try to find the exit, and then living in a crack.
He did not go towards the exit, by the way.
He's like just like running around basically.
Pretty obvious exit.
He like goes towards. I'm pretty sure it's towards the exit.
He is going toward the exit.
He is.
There's like a tunnel and there's sunlight at the end of it. That looks like an exit to me.
I thought it was like the tunnel. Corey was on the right, and then Michael's over here on the left chilling. Okay.
No,
he goes
Michael's
through the
living
tunnel,
in a
and he's
crack
literally in like a
tunnel.
fucking crack in the wall.
Pretty adorable. He's all nestled in.
Yeah, he's very sub-Michael this movie.
Very apologetic here and there.
He's soft and submissive in this movie.
He is not Dommy Mommy.
He's not on his A game. He is not.
He's
the
subby
Dommy
Mikey.
He's not my Michael Myers.
No.
Hashtag not my Michael.
What happens next? He kills a homeless guy, right?
Yeah, he stabs a homeless guy
Well,
by accident, I think.
He locks eyes with Michael.
They have a moment.
Oh,
That
yeah, they
eyes
have
lock.
a moment. Sparks fly.
Yeah.
And I kind of dialed back in. This was the movie's real last chance to get me invested.
And, they completely fumbled
And
it.
they didn't even touch it. They
They missed.
they missed. Because Corey crawls back out after sharing a moment with Daddy Michael, stabs a homeless guy.
Yeah.
Immediately.
He went full American Psycho.
Doesn't he tell her too? Like, I killed a guy, and she's just
Yes.
like, she just like, doesn't.
He says that, but the way everybody keeps bringing that up, I've heard about it elsewhere. I think he just says I killed someone.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's referring to that old homeless
he
man.
has to be.
I thought
Everyone knows
he
he killed
like,
the boy.
Yeah, but I thought this was the way I read it was this was his first time really talking to her about it because he never brings it up to her.
Oh, so no,
It's
this
implied.
happens right after he murders.
I
the
know,
homeless man.
and I know that's like the thing, but
Spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers
oh
for
my
all
gosh.
of the movie.
Every
movie.
we forgot to say spoilers like an hour
They
ago.
should have known.
Yeah, I mean, like...
But yeah, he kills a homeless guy, immediately goes to Allison, he's like, I killed a guy. Now, I will give you guys 10 seconds to guess what Allison's response is to this.
I think her response is what makes me think that he's not, like, directly talking. I don't think he, like, goes into enough detail for her to catch it.
2, they bone.
They do bone.
I forgot about that. They do bone.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice it until Kevin told me after the movie.
Wait, yeah. So, and if you guys have ever thought, watching a Michael Myers film, that he just needs to lace some pipe and everything would be better, he wouldn't go on a killing spree, that's just not the case.
He's not pimped up or anything. Not at all.
Pipe was laid, the murder spree ensued.
I think it started it.
Well, no, he killed a homeless man.
That's the appetizer. He's like, I don't know if this is my thing yet. And then he got laid. He's like, okay.
He got the appetizer, jumped straight to dessert, and realized he wanted the main course all along.
He's like, oh.
The killing spree.
I don't know what happens next. All I know in
I
my
hated
brain
him.
is he goes somewhere in this hodgepodge of mess of a fucking movie. He goes back into the sewer and kicks Michael's ass.
We're not there yet.
Just whips his ass.
Yeah,
We're
so
not...
you're missing, like, the build-up where he, like, is standing outside of Laurie's house, and it does the... it does. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it goes... And he's just, like
that was
planking, like a plank standing
At this
there.
moment in the movie, I've been looking at the wall more than the screen in the theater. And when I heard that music, I looked up and saw him looking. I'm like, maybe. Missed again. So there's this, like, subplot where Allison didn't get a promotion at the doctor's office.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And she, like, tells him
Oh,
about it.
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, she's up for a promotion, and then the lady that's boning the doctor gets the promotion.
The one
Classic.
The one with obviously bigger boobs and more slutty gets the promotion.
Yeah.
And definitely implied she's sleeping with the doc.
And then they tell you.
Yeah.
I mean,
They show
They show you.
they show you.
And I started looking at the screen because I'm like, this
Boobs.
might be. Yeah, I'm like, whoa. This,
Also,
if
they don't. I don't think they show boobs.
They don't.
That was a joke.
They were about to, like, go to
Yeah.
the bone zone.
But the tag team duo of the century,
Freaking-
Corey and Michael Myers.
Move over, D-Generation X. So Corey's wearing a scarecrow mask that he wore early in the film, and he's just stabbing the doctor.
Just too many times.
Not clinical at all. Just beating him.
It's sloppy.
Clearly his first Michael Myers type kill. And then Michael walks
Pins a
out.
lady to the wall.
Michael does his Michael thing.
I love that.
This is where they didn't miss. They had the ball for a minute. Because Michael just darts her into a wall.
I
And looks
love
at
it.
her.
I love it when he darts people.
And
in
then
walls.
this goofball Corey takes off his mask and looks at the lady. And I'm like, this guy's not gonna be a good killer. This guy took off his mask after like every kill.
Yeah. Well, they're dead practically. Their life is draining out of them. They can see his face.
Yeah,
You know?
but you see, Michael is like the embodiment of evil. If I got killed by a scarecrow mask, I'm like, I'm scared. But if I take it off and I see goofy Corey looking at me,
Yeah, it's more scary when white-faced William Shatner's killing you.
Instead of, I get bullied by band kids while drinking Yoo-Hoo Corey. You can't come back from that.
You can't come back from getting bullied while drinking a Yoo-Hoo.
So, and this also raises the thing that could save the movie for me. Michael Myers riding on the back of Corey's motorcycle.
That never happens in the movie, but it's implied.
They didn't say it didn't happen, so I'm choosing to believe it did happen.
You know who we haven't brought up in this entire movie? The one redeemable character that I really liked in this movie that got a terrible stick. The stepdad who gave him the motorcycle to begin with. I loved that guy.
The comedic relief that you rooted for.
What did he say?
I hope you find love.
Yeah, I hope you find love. And it was just so out of place. I audibly laughed at that. That really got me.
And I hope this doesn't happen because fandoms are really toxic. The actor that played Corey, this is not his fault. He's going to become a very hated character because of this.
He did well with what he was given.
It just wasn't...
He carries the entirety of the movie on his shoulders.
He has to.
It's his movie, basically.
He is the main character of this one. Despite the marketing. Don't let the marketing fool you, folks.
But
this is a Corey film.
But I don't want to,
Corey's in the house.
a half year from now find out he's deactivated Twitter and stuff because the fan hate and
it's going to be right after we're done recording. We're going to open up Twitter and he's going to have deactivated
We did this.
Yeah. He's been Leslie Jonesed.
one a-hole listened to this randomly. He's like, they're right.
Not even. It's gonna be. I'm gonna hit the stop recording button. We're gonna look at our phones, and it's gonna be the actor who played Corey. He deactivated Twitter. He's not doing well.
He's not doing well.
So stay tuned for next week, guys. If Corey's doing fine, we're gonna do a checkup on the actor.
Our weekly is Corey okay?
Yeah, we're gonna do a wellness check.
We are now a Corey Stan account for all the right reasons.
Our hero, the hero of this movie, the one person who actually tried.
He tried. So there's this weird scene where Jamie Lee Curtis confronts Corey. She's like, I know who... Jamie Lee Curtis is in this movie, by the way.
I know you slept with my granddaughter. That's not what she said.
You can't come back from that either. You're like, I sure did. But
all right.
I can't remember if the scene's a dream or not.
Huh?
Where she's in the chair against the window.
No, that's not a dream. That's a real thing that happened.
That was live?
Yeah, that was live.
Huh.
Wasn't a dream, not a fever dream. That's a thing that happened.
This movie sucked.
She climbs out a window.
Batman's out a window.
Yeah, she's like gone.
Just the curtain's like waving in the wind. She's gone.
I didn't know that I didn't know that normal people could have that ability.
They don't.
That was impressive.
They don't.
She's built different.
Jamie Lee Curtis did more supernatural things in this movie than Michael Myers.
It's true, yeah. Other than the look of love that he gave Corey.
Of course, the power of love.
I missed the subplot that these first two movies established, which is really silly, but it's my favorite thing in the world, which is that the whole entire reason for the Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills is my man just wants to go to his window. He just wants to look out his window and just look at the town and just enjoy his little life.
Michael's kind of simple.
He's a simple man.
He's
evil.
He's an oaf. He's just a simple little oaf.
Big oaf.
That has some anger issues.
He just wants his window. In Halloween, he's making his way downtown.
He got it, though.
And Halloween Kills, he gets to his window. And then in Halloween Ends, that's why he's living in the sewer, because they tore his house down.
That's why he became a
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah,
he is Splinter.
A throwaway line, and they're like, they tore down the old Meyer house.
I didn't even know they did that. That's how far away of a line.
Wait, you didn't catch that? That was like
that's
one of
why
the
he's
first
living
lines.
in the sewer, because the whole first two movies, he breaks out and he's just trying to get to his window.
That's the first. That's I think the first thing they say after we get to the Michael Myers plot, or you think you're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Is once after Corey kills that little boy, that monster, they say they tore down the old Myers house.
Just like that.
Sam Elliott comes on the mic.
So, yeah, Corey also is like talking to Allison. Allison has terrible taste in men.
I just don't even. Her character was so forgettable. I forgot her name, and I've watched 3 movies.
I had to look it up.
She should have died, and not Judy Greer.
I agree.
Yeah.
Karen should have lived.
Michael should have died in 2. I'm telling you, this movie should have never happened. Or if it did happen, shouldn't have had Michael in it.
Or they could have even made it like where Corey was, you didn't know if it was Corey or if it was Michael Myers the whole time.
Yeah, if it were a copycat killer thing.
Yeah.
There was like a planned copycat killer like whole movie in the past. They could have borrowed from that. I would have loved this, I think, if it were...
They just did it poorly.
If they did any other way.
Yeah. I think this plot had promise. It's just they completely dropped the ball. They picked so many like poor plot lines to follow, like Grease 2. I just can't believe that I asked my mom what she thought about this. I'm gonna be honest, the Grease 2 thing, not original. My mom was like, I can't believe they made Halloween Grease 2. I was like,
You're right.
I was like, you know what, Ma? You're absolutely right.
Good thing I made you watch that a couple months
I
ago
know,
for
right?
the first time.
I wouldn't have known what she was talking about otherwise.
Unpopular opinion, I like Grease 2 better than Grease.
That is an unpopular opinion.
That is an unpopular opinion.
Super unpopular.
My mom hates that movie.
I love it. It's good.
The romantic subplot is they go around town, quote unquote, let's burn the city. Like, basically,
But
like...
she doesn't have any part in it.
She doesn't, but, like,
She's just hanging out with her creepy
They
weird
did the
boyfriend.
thing where they introduced characters just to have a body count.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like the radio guy.
Yeah.
They,
We knew he was going to be big because they kept playing the radio, but then, like, they had to make conflict up to justify just...
if there are any Joe Bob fans, did you catch...
Darcy the male girl.
Yeah. Good for her. Worst Halloween film she could have been in. I think she was happy that she got to be, like, a celebrity kill. But
she didn't even get killed by Michael Myers.
Yeah,
she got killed by Corey in the Michael Myers suit.
Sorry, Darcy. That's the worst way that you could have gone in a Michael Myers film. It wasn't even a Michael Myers film. I don't know why I keep calling it that.
Before Corey kills her, he goes back. He's like, I need the mask. He goes back, and as Brent said, Michael got beat.
Rocked.
He just beats the
and like
ever living
I
crap.
laughed because it's filmed so comedically because like Corey has to crawl through this little tunnel. He stands up and
you're just a guy.
Michael walks up like it's his son walking in, and Corey just decks him. And you just see a scuffle. Corey yoinks the mask and then crawls back out. And then Michael does his little sit-up thing at the end. And you're like, uh-oh. And so...
He's like, what the heck?
He's like, that was not cool.
How did Michael know where Corey was?
The script.
The plot required
The
it. Plot demands it.
There's no other... The plot demanded
because, like...
He wanted his mask.
That's just not even, like... They keep teetering on supernatural with these movies, and I hate that.
They need to go...
I wish they would have gone more serious and grounded with the last one and this one.
Corey, I wish they would have gotten more spooky.
It's like, spooky's cool. I think there's nothing scarier than a man, right? Than just a man. I think that people have way more potential to be horrifying than supernatural things.
But imagine a man that you can't kill.
That's not scary.
That's supernatural. I think I don't know about you guys. I've been taken out of plenty of horror movies because I know that the supernatural stuff that's going on is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just like comedic at a point where it's like, oh, haha, you can't kill Michael. He's unkillable. He is a god man. You can't kill him because he's evil incarnate. That's dumb. That takes me out of it. It takes me out of it.
I love that.
What's scary about that anymore? It's not scary. It's inevitable.
You can't stop him.
Turn it into an inevitability. It's just like, you can't stop this man because he's pure evil.
We'll get to that.
What's the point of being afraid of that? You just can't.
You just gotta, H2O, chop his head off.
Yeah.
But he comes back every time.
Well, that's just because money.
Yeah.
And studio executives.
Money is the real supernatural element here.
Yeah, money is the supernatural element, but I think that takes away from it. Let franchises die, people. Let your main villain die in these horror franchises. I don't know why that's such a controversial thing. If you have other ideas that could be made with that character, set up a new character that could do similar things.
Bring back 4 and 5 continuity. Forget 6 and bring back Jamie Lloyd.
I miss Rob Zombie.
Ew.
I know. I don't mean it.
What's wrong with you?
I don't mean it.
What is wrong with you?
Alright, guys. I'm just joking.
Boo!
Man. Oh,
Boo!
I was on a hot streak till now. So, yeah, Michael's still alive. Does a sit-up. Corey in the house goes and kills the band kids. His dad dies in it.
Yeah, it is directly the cause of the death of his stepdad. Which is just tragic.
And
that guy was just living his life. He wanted the best for his stepson. Not even his real son, mind you.
There's like a real weird, like, blink and you miss kind of connotation that there's a weird incest thing going on with Corey and his mom.
We didn't even touch on the mom. Yeah, she's weird.
I hate her. Yeah. I just didn't want to talk about
I rooted for her dying, and she did.
I'm glad she did.
Good. So yeah, Corey in the house just, like, amends his wrongs. Kills his mom, the radio host.
Amends his wrongs? What's amending about that? He's on a... What?
Radio show... Okay, any person that's giving him attitude.
Yeah, he's absolutely taking people out. He's not amending anything. He's amending their lives to death.
He's solving...
his problems.
Yeah.
He's actively creating new problems, but he's solving his very high school level issues.
The funeral homes are packed now.
Yeah.
He's helping them out.
Oh my god, the funeral home...
casket business be booming in Haddonfield.
Yeah, that economy is absolutely insane. It's gonna crash soon. You should pull out your money if you have stock in Haddonfield.
So, we cut back to Jamie Lee Curtis in this film. She's gonna commit suicide.
Oh my god, I forgot.
No, she isn't.
She's alluding to unaliving herself. She calls the cops.
She's.
It's all a big ruse, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's not actually going to take
Evil
the big
dies
nap.
tonight. So she shoots a pumpkin, and we got Corey in the house, literally in the house this time. He like opens the door, and in Corey's mind, he thinks that Laurie Strode is just blowing her brains out.
Yeah, but she's actually like, "Hey, idiot! Why would I do that?" Bam!
Corey takes it like a champ, falls over the railing, hits the floor,
lives.
Which begs the question of what you brought up. How?
Yeah, how?
The mask.
Shut up.
The mask, man.
I'm sick of it.
It's William Shatner.
It has to be the mask.
It's not the mask.
It has to be.
It's the script.
If it's the mask, then how did he get it off Michael?
That is the same way that the doctor in the first one who puts on his mask for that one weird bit in the first movie when he like runs him over and he's like, "Hi, I'm Michael now."
Michael gets the mask back. It's not the mask.
It's the mask.
It isn't the mask.
The mask probably smells awful too. Like we did not.
It's so musky. It's burnt to his face, so it's gotta have like some flesh in it.
And he hasn't taken it off for 4 years. He's
never brushed his teeth.
He's in a sewer, not brushing his teeth.
Never.
Eating dogs, probably. Homeless people.
Squirrels,
dogs, whatever rolls into that sewer.
Well, that one homeless guy's been like, he's been dragging people in there and they don't come out.
So he's eating
He's
people.
eating people, dogs. I'm gonna keep going with dogs because he's eating dogs before. He's doing it. He's eating cats.
Mustache.
I'm telling you.
Oh no.
He ate mustache.
So yeah, Lori walks downstairs, fires off all of her remaining bullets.
Yeah, just like, well, because she's like,
kill me, do it.
No, she's like, she's not gonna be a murderer. I think her ultimate goal is the police are gonna be there because she called in a suicide.
This is the last.
So it's gonna be police and paramedics to try to save her. Her plan is to just get him to go to jail. It's clear that she's not trying to kill him, other than the fact that he fell off that stair.
Yeah, she shot him, which is pretty much attempted murder.
He was in her home with a knife, gonna kill her. He
not
was dressed.
An attempted killing. She could have killed him.
Well, she could have, but she didn't, and it was very deliberate. She called in a suicide. They're gonna bring police and paramedics, just by default. He's going to go to jail.
You're right.
Like, this is her plan.
I'd hope.
It's not only, it's a two-pronged effort. It's to get the police and paramedics there, and to convince him that she killed herself so she can shoot him and then have him, like, injured and ready for the police to come get him.
But none of it matters, because guess what Corey does?
Stab himself in the neck.
He just straight takes the knife, puts it in his neck, and...
dies.
Dies. And then guess who opens the door to see what looks like...
First, this is a big issue I had, and I brought it up with Kevin. Before he killed himself, he looked at Jamie Lee Curtis and said, if I can't have Allison, no one can, and kills himself. Allison can date other people. You're dead.
I think it's so let me just. I hate this movie.
Also,
he's saying that because it's gonna make it look like she killed him, and she's gonna go to jail for murdering him.
Well, and no, not even that. It's that it's going to drive a wedge between Lori and
but
Allison.
Allison's still gonna date men.
But it's not that. It's that Corey thinks that Lori is being overprotective of Allison and doesn't want Corey to have Allison, so he's taking that away from Lori. Allison. He's taking Allison away from Lori, is what he thinks he's doing. But he dies, so we can't see the culmination of that.
Yeah, Allison walks in. Sorry.
Allison walks in and then believes it for all of 5 seconds before it's immediately, like, undone.
No. She left. She was driving away.
Yeah.
But then literally, like, 3 minutes later, she comes back.
She called someone. Or someone called her.
I don't know.
It was something like that.
So forgettable, we can't even remember why she turned back.
All I can remember is that 16 where Lori causes Michael to slice his hand in half.
Yeah, and then we finally get to the end of the movie, which is the only good part of the movie.
This is where the plot
only
happens.
Michael part of the movie.
And not only that, but, like, it's genuinely good. The whole last... I was on the edge of my seat. Like, oh my god, this is what I wanted. They're fighting. Is she gonna die? Is he gonna die? We don't know, because it's the only part of the movie that has actual tension that you don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't know. It's like...
Michael got hoed out immediately by a grandma in a fridge.
Yeah, it's like... this is like Battle of the Geriatrics.
It
I
was
honestly
a geriatric
was kind of
smackdown.
taken out of it after he got beat up by Corey. The guy who got almost killed by
If Corey could do it, Lori could do it.
Yeah, if Corey could do it, Lori could do it all week. Because Lori is like 10 times better than Corey every day.
So my note here is that it feels like at the end they created a whole new villain in Corey who didn't make it to the final act.
Yeah.
They focused the whole movie.
The main character dies before the movie ends, before like the final act of the movie.
Yeah, because they realized, oh no, we spent all that marketing money on the very end.
Brilliant, because that's my note. It's like an intern said, they're like, oh, well, what do? We just killed Corey. And an intern's like, we still have Michael. They're like, do we? And they put him in.
Is that brilliant? You said brilliant. Is that going to go? Is that brilliant? Would you call that brilliant?
I'd call it the right idea.
I'd call it something. I don't know if the right idea or brilliant is exactly it.
Yeah, and Lori knows he's coming. She can probably smell his musty jumpsuit coming down the
You
road.
can smell that man from a mile away.
Doesn't
literally.
Dude, I'd die before he stabs me.
You know how you can smell a skunk from theoretically like a mile away? You can smell Michael from further. That is...
He's got swamp body. Like, everything is painful to smell off of him.
He has to be in pain. Speaking of pain, the chafing that man must be enduring.
The man has no pain receptors. He was shot 6 times off of a balcony, blown up, caught on fire. He's got no pain receptors.
That's why he can just not take a shower. Yeah. I feel like I'd be hurting if I didn't take a shower for 4 years and lived in a sewer.
Every time you bend something, it just like cracks.
His skin.
That's it. He's just that's why he kills people. He's just trying to feel something.
No.
He can't feel.
Boo. Boo.
I don't feel so bad now that I had a bad take.
Everybody always asks why he's killing, but no one always asks what's killing him.
Probably every disease.
What?
Leprosy, like every...
Leprosy. If he had leprosy, he wouldn't be such a tank.
I think he has leprosy.
I don't think he does.
We'll see about that.
I don't know if you've ever seen anybody with leprosy, but
I haven't, believe it or not.
That ain't it.
I don't know. He looks like it.
Remember when he made that lady shoot herself in Halloween Kills?
Yeah, that was
awesome.
Cool.
That was pretty cool.
I think that...
Remember when Corey hit a girl with a truck in this one? And
no, that's how... No,
he pinned her under, like, a fence with a truck.
And then, like...
And she was like, oh, God, help me! You don't remember that?
No.
She's like, yeah, he, smashed her head with her boot.
Oh, I do remember that
smashed
part.
her head
I remember that part. Because Michael Myers does that in Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
He smashes the guy's head in with his boot just like that.
But, yeah, Brent.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry. So, Brent, since you love Michael Myers, how does Halloween end?
Oh, man. So, Halloween ends with this big old battle in a kitchen, and They're in a kitchen, right?
It's
Yeah.
kitchen, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd hope so.
Where did the fridge come from? It's not a kitchen.
It's the living room.
He's on an
fridge.
island. He's on a kitchen island and gets pinned down by a fridge.
He's in Martha Stewart's bedroom.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. I feel like she's kitchen.
She's sleeping in a kitchen?
Yeah.
She sleeps in a bedroom, David, and cooks in a kitchen.
Nah. Martha always be cooking.
Well, there's stabby. They pin him down. They get him all killed, and then she ties him to the hood of her car, and she drives him downtown. And everybody in Haddonfield, they gather around, and she's monologuing about evil, and then they throw him in a meat grinder, and you watch his body explode and mangle into 1,000 pieces.
I've never seen a whole town band together to throw a man into a grinder.
You think he rushed that? That's what happened.
In that case,
exactly
He didn't
The
didn't miss a plot point.
the police rolled up, and one guy was like, "This isn't how we do this," and then
It
the
was
sheriff's like, "It is tonight."
The best character from the last Halloween movie, the sheriff with the cowboy hat, shows up for his one scene and said, "It's how we do it tonight."
And then they threw him into a meat grinder. It's not even a meat grinder. It's
And
like a
then
truck
just
grinder.
to make sure, in case this one makes a lot of money, Jamie Lee Curtis, while they're throwing him into the meat grinder, she's having a monologue where she mentions how evil will change shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. The shape.
I wrote down a couple jokes.
Oh, let's hear
Oh, test them on us.
And they're
please,
probably not
for
good.
your stand-up.
How about that airplane?
What's the deal?
So when the town was parading him around, I was laughing. Because it's so... Just the whole town, like, got the group text. It just showed up. And they paraded him around like it was a Super Bowl parade. Like, the whole city lost their mind, and he was, like, caught the game-winning touchdown.
LeBron brought the rings back.
They paraded him around like he was a war hero.
It was like the Pope.
With the Queen's dead body rolling around through the town.
This is my personal favorite, and I don't care if you don't laugh. I mean, I thought... They paraded him around like it was his quinceañera. He was the star. Like the whole
I don't even know what to say to that.
the whole town showed up and he's just the man. But they had a parade. Everyone's been waiting for it, and Laura's like, got him. And they just flooded the streets.
You think anybody ever asks her, when are you going to get this guy?
It's like they blew
You're
up
writing a book. What are you doing about him? He's out there. He killed your doctor.
You're supposed to... what are you doing?
Trained for this for 40 years.
This is what you're supposed to be doing. Why aren't you finding him?
It's like she lit the I killed Michael Myers signal in the sky, and they're like, there it is. Evil died tonight. And they just grind him up.
I can't believe that she wrote his name down in the book and then said that his name will fade with time.
Yeah, she wrote a book about
Yeah,
it.
she wrote a book about him. It was like, in time, people will forget. No, bitch, you're
Unless it becomes a
immortalizing
New York
him.
Times bestseller, then nobody will ever forget.
Mine's gonna be famous.
I can't wait until in like 3 years they make another one or something, and then they have like Michael Myers is like an in-universe movie villain.
Bring back Jamie Lloyd.
I would be okay
Ignore
with
all these movies and just go straight from 4 and 5. Forget about 6. We don't need 6.
I hated this movie.
But bring back Paul Rudd as Tommy Doyle.
that. Who is it that owns that franchise now? Miramax.
Blumhouse.
Blumhouse doesn't own it.
They
licensed
produce
it.
it.
I think Miramax owns it. Miramax, if you're listening, I have an idea to bring back the old movies. So,
I miss the old Michael. Straight
Yeah.
from the go.
No. I can tell you about it later. I got an idea. So Miramax, if you're listening, call me.
Yeah, a lot of my notes sprinkled in is just how much I hate it. I hate this movie.
Yeah, it was
it's
just
the
a
worst.
big disappointment.
I left upset.
We could have wrote a better movie, the three of us.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, this movie is the single-handed reason why we actually decided to start this podcast. We have been talking about this for years, and the hatred of this movie
This. You're
fueled
right.
this.
Yeah, we hated this movie so much we decided to do something about it and start a podcast.
Well,
I give this 2 out of 10 Corey in the houses.
Can I give this a negative value?
I give this negative snails.
I gave it.
All of negative
I'm
snails.
taking Snails from this movie.
I gave this a 2 out of 10. I gave 1 just obligatory to Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay. Yeah, she deserves it. No,
She deserves her
down.
flowers.
What?
No, she did good. She was
I
fine.
didn't even think she was like. I don't
It's
think.
not her fault she wasn't in the movie. She
But
just,
it's like
I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis is good.
She can do no wrong.
Yeah.
In
I
her
don't-
lore,
does it-
I believe her as Laurie Strode.
Just because she's cast
is
in a
Laurie
movie,
Strode.
does that mean we need to be giving points to the movie because she was cast in it?
No,
Yeah.
it's because she did well in
Yeah.
it.
It's
Because she did well as Laurie Strode in this trilogy.
she acts
she's
well,
the
but
best
Laurie
part.
Strode isn't good. in
This is the end of Laurie
I
Strode.
don't think this is good Laurie Strode.
So, this is the end of Laurie Strode's story, too, hopefully. Jamie Lee Curtis is Laurie Strode, of course. Like,
Yeah.
this started her career, and this has, like, been her... On her finale, I have to give her...
I mean, do what you have to do, man. I don't think she was bad in this. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is a good actress. I just don't think that... I don't think she was in this movie enough for me to give it points for her.
The other rating I gave it is, like I touched on earlier, I appreciate the risk they took.
I appreciate that, too. I like it when franchises take
I do,
risks.
too. They did it terribly.
Again, my whole point goes back to the fact that the marketing campaign for this was not as advertised.
Corey wasn't in the trailers.
Normally that's good in a movie. Like, I like a advertisement that subverts my expectations or directs me away from what the plot of the actual movie would be. But this is just... It was fraudulent, honestly. It was like... I mean, to say that Evil Dies Tonight, this is the Wham Bam Thank You Ma'am finale of Michael Myers versus Laurie Strode in a matchup that you'll never forget would be fraudulent.
And I'll never forget it.
I wanted an hour and a half of Laurie Strode and Michael Myers fighting like they're the Chicken and Peter.
I was about to say,
yeah.
I would love that. Just duking it out through the city streets.
Yeah, I would
People
have
try to
loved
help
that.
Laurie, and she's like, I got it, and
Michael stabs him. Yeah, people are trying to help her. He can't kill her. She can't kill him.
But
he's killing everybody in town that tries to get in
But
their
when the
way.
mailman rolls up, Michael just rips his throat out. Just...
The mailman? Why?
I don't know, man. I feel like he's probably...
No, I don't know. There's
He wants his blue jumpsuit.
This will be a great uniform.
And then Michael's like, no.
William Shatner should have killed him.
It's a hot take.
You know, wearing his face for all these years, might as well.
But yeah, 1 out of 10 definitely, 2 out of 10 if I'm feeling generous. It depends on my day.
I'm gonna say, I don't know, like negative 3, negative 4.
Realistically,
-5.
it was bad. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'll give it a solid 4 snails out of 10.
4 snails, wow.
Wow. I think this was really bad. This is perhaps one of the worst movies I've seen in recent years.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say that.
I don't think I'll be rewatching this for many years to come.
If
I
I
can't.
had a gun to my head and had to rewatch one of them, I'd be rewatching Halloween Kills.
If I had a gun to my head and I had to rewatch any of them, it'd be Halloween, the original.
Oh, well, yeah.
Duh.
I mean, I wouldn't...
I'm talking about the sequels. If I have to watch a sequel.
I would watch Halloween 2.
Okay. Okay.
I think that this the promise that this trilogy had, it failed to deliver on that promise.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what David Gordon Green does with The Exorcist.
God,
His the next franchise.
That's his next victim.
Him and Danny McBride are heading over by Blumhouse. Is rebooting. And do you remember the mom in The Exorcist? Mm-hmm. Yep, she's going to be the main character.
Guys, David is head and hands.
She's the new main
Stop
character.
letting him touch stuff.
I honestly, this...
No, it's
We'll
fine,
do
because
that.
the first one will be good.
I
'Cause
frankly-
you know what they announced? It's a trilogy.
Why do they keep doing that?
I don't know.
The kiss of death.
It is the kiss of death. I think that because I don't really care that much about The Exorcist, I'm okay with this.
I don't
Honestly.
either, but I just don't want them to hurt anything else.
Yeah, how could you, Blumhouse, let them hurt us once more?
They even changed their Blumhouse logo to have him in it now.
We saw Gordon Green's in the Blumhouse logo.
No.
No, he's taking over everything.
Michael Myers was in the Blumhouse logo more than he was his own film.
Oh my god, he really was in it more than he was in the whole movie.
Danny McBride and David Gordon Green are the Blumhouse logo now.
Well,
I just can't. Shame on you, Danny McBride.
We hate this movie. We all agree.
Yeah.
But to switch gears, we could sit here for the rest of this night and talk about how
I
much we
could
hate
sit
this
here
movie.
for the rest of my life and
Yes.
talk about how I hate
So
this
we gotta
movie.
cut this off. Let's get more positive real quick. What was your favorite horror movie of the year? We know it's not Halloween.
mine was Barbarian.
Barbarian. Haven't seen it, but I do want to see it.
Don't look up any trailers. If you're gonna watch Barbarian, just watch it as blind as you possibly can.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's your favorite horror
we should
movie?
watch it this week.
Kevin?
My favorite this year, you guys, I really liked Hellraiser, like, a lot.
Okay.
They had a lot of cool practical effects. They had a lot of cool, like, classic looking effects. It was very true to the original.
Hulu has been killing it.
Oh my gosh, Prey.
Yeah.
Prey was really good too. Was that this year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, actually, I take that back. Prey. Is Prey a horror film? Would we call Prey a horror
Action
film?
thriller.
If
Action
I was
thriller?
being hunted by the predator, I'd be terrified.
Yeah, but it wasn't really a scary movie.
Survivor.
Okay, all right, Hellraiser. Hulu,
All right.
keep doing what you're doing. Disney, I don't know how Disney's like taking over the world and buying everything that we love.
They are.
It's only a matter of time that Disney gets Michael Myers and does something good with it.
Thank God. David, what's your favorite horror movie this
The
year?
Black Phone.
I wanted to
I
see
haven't
that.
seen that one
wanted
yet.
to see
I
that. Was it
love
good?
The Black Phone.
I
And
love-
I watched it a second time with a group of my friends. And watching it the second time, I liked it even more. I changed my rating and bumped it up another. I give it an 8 out of 10 on the year.
Wow.
It is a great horror movie.
Wow.
I love it.
Brent,
It's
what?
it just you know that list they put out every year of like the scariest horror movies of all time.
Yeah.
It cracked it.
Oh,
Whoa.
hell yeah.
It's like the only movie from this year to crack the list.
Damn.
So
What would you rate Barbarian? I don't think you rated it.
Ooh, I rate Barbarian an 8 out of 10 snails.
Well, it's good.
It was it was a movie I wasn't having any expectations for, and I went in knowing literally nothing. I didn't even know what the plot was about. I only knew one actor that was in it.
Gotcha.
I don't
And,
know any actors that are in. I don't.
Don't
know any-
because the whole time I watched like a sliver of a trailer,
And
I know.
and I was waiting for this person to
Okay.
show up.
I know Skarsgård's in it.
Oh
One of
no!
Skarsgård's
Oh no!
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need
no
to know.
else.
Did you say you rated it 8 snails?
8 snails.
Oh wow! I didn't know we were still on the snail system.
I will
Are we
never,
gonna stick with snails?
I don't know about you guys. I will forever and always.
Oh
stick
my
to the
gosh,
snail
snails
rating.
gonna become our
I'm
thing.
snails.
I think I'm gonna be a little more fluid with my ratings.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it up.
Thanks for listening to the first episode of The Plotline. David, Brent, and I really look forward to seeing you on next week's episode.